Good afternoon. I'm Shubh, and here are the top stories shaping the world the week of August 24th and why they matter for all of us. Ukraine is reeling tonight after the assassination of Andrei Parubie, a senior lawmaker and former parliamentary speaker. He was gunned down in Lviv, far from the front lines of the war. President Zelensky has called it a horrific act of political terror. This killing highlights just how vulnerable Ukraine's democracy is under the pressures of war. It's not just about the battlefield anymore. Political leaders themselves are becoming targets. For Europe and its allies, it raises fears of deeper instability in Ukraine, a country already at the heart of global security concerns. Moving on to the Middle East. In Yemen, the Houthis have confirmed that their self-declared prime minister, Ahmad al-Rahawi, was killed in an Israeli airstrike in the capital, Sana'a. The strike also targeted other top rebel officials in what Israel has called Operation Lucky Drop. This is not just a local strike, it's a direct blow to Iran's allies in the region, and it risks escalating into a much broader conflict. If tensions spiral, we could see instability affecting global oil supply, regional security, and even the involvement of major powers like the United States and Saudi Arabia. The ripple effects could hit the global economy and heighten Middle East volatility. And in Asia, President Vladimir Putin has arrived in Tianjin, China, for the largest ever summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Leaders from across Asia, including India and Pakistan, are gathering to discuss security, trade, and energy. This summit signals a shifting balance of global power. With Russia increasingly isolated from the West, its growing partnership with China, and the alignment of other Asian powers could reshape the international order. It's a sign that global alliances are realigning, with long-term consequences for trade, security, and diplomacy worldwide. Three stories, three regions, but one message. The world is more interconnected than ever, and the events in Ukraine, Yemen, and China will ripple across borders, shaping security, economics, and the balance of power for all of us. Moving on to America. First, the FBI's sweeping Operation Summer Heat has made headlines. 220 violent offenders were reported being arrested this week, bringing the total to more than 5,700 arrests since June. The operation has dismantled 290 criminal networks and seized more than 25 metric tons of fentanyl and cocaine, including significant drug trafficking infrastructure and firearms confiscations. This sweeping crackdown demonstrates the federal government's commitment to tackling organized crime and the opioid crisis. Powerful narcotics seizures and disrupted trafficking networks can bolster domestic safety and also reduce the flow of drugs into international markets. It signals that the US is stepping up both homeland and global anti-narcotics efforts. In corporate America this week, country-themed chain Cracker Barrel sparked controversy with a modern rebrand aimed to attract Gen Z customers amidst declining sales, dropping its iconic Uncle Herschel logo and Old Country Store tagline. After MAGA-aligned critics, including Donald Trump Jr., accused the chain of wokeness, the brand reversed course and reinstated its original imagery. This episode highlights the growing influence of political culture wars on commerce. The swift reversal shows how polarized public opinion can directly influence corporate branding decisions. It marks a turning point in the relationship between businesses, social media activism, and political allegiance. Now moving on to Washington. Washington, D.C. is buzzing this week with a cascade of developments. A federal appeals court has struck down most of Trump's global tariffs, setting up a potential Supreme Court showdown. We're also seeing a wave of institutional shakeups, with experienced officials departing from agencies like the CDC, the Pentagon, and international roles. Meanwhile, a diplomatic dispute brews as US officials accuse some European allies of privately undermining peace efforts in Ukraine. These moves could reshape both trade and governance. The tariff ruling threatens the administration's economic strategy, potentially impacting global supply chains. The exodus of expert staff raises concerns about institutional memory and operational stability in critical federal agencies. Finally, diplomatic tensions with Europe over Ukraine place the US at a complex crossroads in global leadership and transatlantic regions. From law enforcement breakthroughs and corporate culture battles to judicial rulings and leadership vacuums, these stories are more than headlines. They're signposts of how American policies and politics are reverberating across the globe. Thank you for listening, and I hope you tune in next week.